patellar tendon repair have lower return to play rates compared to other injuries. Complete recovery after surgery can take up to 12 months, and some players may not fully regain their pre-injury form. Even with surgery, players may experience a decline in performance levels after the initial recovery period. The patellar tendon anchors the thigh's quad muscle to the shin, allowing the knee to flex and extend. Because it's so integral to running and cutting, it's not usual for strength and explosiveness to return at a reduced level. Patellar tendon injuries, including tears and ruptures, are a serious concern for NFL players, often leading to significant setbacks in their careers. While a tear may not always be career-ending, it significantly impacts performance and return to play rates, with studies showing that only about 50% of players. And this might be a big reason why the Eagles decided to move up from 32 overall to 31 overall in that trade with the Kansas City Chiefs to take linebacker and edge rusher combo Jahad Campbell in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. And this really sets a foundation for what we're going to get into here with this show, because it is the same injury that has impacted a lot of players throughout the course of NFL history, and it's the injury that Nakobe Dean is trying to come off of. The patellar tendon injury, which is one of the worst injuries that you can suffer. Patellar tendon, Achilles injuries, they are two injuries with surgeries and recoveries that when you hear it for a professional athlete, when you hear it for anybody, you're like, oh no, that is going to be a long and arduous recovery. As we know, the Achilles tendon in the news because Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics rupturing his Achilles tendon on Monday in Game 4 against the New York Knicks. Now, back to the football front, of course. This tweet from Adam Schefter. Last week, the 49ers waiving former second-round pick defensive end Drake Jackson with a failed physical designation. He is still rehabbing a knee injury, but is expected to be cleared by the start of training camp. That injury that he suffered all the way back in 2023, and we have not seen him play since then. Patellar tendon injury. He was the 61st overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft by the Niners. He only had 6 sacks in 23 career games. It's unfortunate for him because when he was coming out of USC, had some NFL bloodlines within his family because his pops was a really good football player, and he was a little bit raw while with the Trojans. But you saw the length, you saw the wingspan, you saw the bend, some of the physical traits that could translate to a player being a really good pass rusher in this league. And for Drake Jackson, there were glimpses where he played some good football for the Niners, obviously in a small sample size. He had a few sacks, I think 3 in a 4-game span as a rookie, and then in year 2, he had 3 sacks in week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and honestly, we really never heard from him again. He's only 24 years old, 6'4", 273, though, just hasn't been able to come back off of that patellar tendon surgery. Remember last offseason, when we were talking about Caden Stearns, a really good Denver Broncos safety who stepped in for Justin Simmons a few years ago, played good ball. He too suffered that same injury that Drake Jackson did and Nakobe Dean injured in January against the Green Bay Packers. And here's some more insight on what this injury entails and some of the background and studies behind it. Studies show that NFL athletes who have undergone patellar tendon repair have lower return to play rates compared to other injuries. Complete recovery after surgery can take up to 12 months, and some players may not fully regain their pre-injury form. Even with surgery, players may experience a decline in performance levels after the initial recovery period. The patellar tendon anchors the thigh's quad muscle to the shin, allowing the knee to flex and extend. Because it's so integral to running and cutting, it's not usual for strength and explosiveness to return at a reduced level. Patellar tendon injuries, including tears and ruptures, are a serious concern for NFL players, often leading to significant setbacks in their careers. While a tear may not always be career-ending, it significantly impacts performance and return to play rates, with studies showing that only about 50% of players return to their pre-injury level. Couple of takeaways from that. 50%, it's not a great odds number for Nakobe Dean and for players throughout the course of NFL history who have suffered those injuries. And you also think about the complexities of this specific injury and surgery. It's the quad connecting to the shin. And so you think about an Achilles tear, right? You're going to be non-weight bearing for a little while, but then you can get in a boot and you can kind of walk a little bit. Torn ACLs are so interesting because sometimes players play through torn ACLs. Curtis Rourke, the Indiana quarterback last year, played through a torn ACL. Phillip Rivers did the same. Even when people suffer torn ACLs, sometimes they can play through that or walk and run. There's that linebacker from NC State from 2 drafts ago who got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unbelievable athlete. He has no ACL. So with a torn ACL, sometimes you can walk, you can run. But with that patellar tendon injury, you need to be completely non-weight bearing. And even if you're trying to build up strength in one part of your leg, you're not able to because you have to be immobile. Because you need the quad, the knee, and the shin all to get that rest. And then you're having to build up your muscle and your strength in all of those areas. And then there's the timeline, right? Players can return in about 12 months. Well, unfortunately for Nakobe Dean, who had a career year last year, he suffered this injury in January. So there's no telling when he'll be able to come back and if he'll be able to return to that type of level. And unfortunately for him, he's going into the final year of his rookie contract after being a third-round pick a few years ago, going into year 4 right now. Other notable patellar tendon injuries that have cost players their careers, Victor Cruz actually suffered that injury at Lincoln Financial Field, was never the same, and was never able to return to that pre-injury form. The same can be said for Cadillac Williams, really good running back there for a little while. And then Gerard Mayo, linebacker for the New England Patriots, suffered that injury, and he just couldn't get right. So I am hopeful that Nakobe Dean can come back. Respected player, fun player to watch, best linebacker in college football. Took him a little while after Georgia to find his footing as an NFL player. Last year, that happened. Him alongside Zach Baun, they were one of the top linebacker duos in the National Football League. And Nakobe Dean is also a leader in that Eagles locker room. He did say during Super Bowl week, I'm going to be back better than ever. I hope he is right. But I just wanted to share that insight, the data points, and the background, some of the history of that injury to just inform a lot of you. Nakobe Dean in 2024, we talk about him having a career year. He did. And I know he struggled a little bit in coverage. That's not his strongest suit or skill. 60.7 coverage grade there, 75th in the NFL. But his overall PFF grade of 75.2 was 27th among 189 linebackers in the game. Pass rush grade, top 10, 82.1 at number 8. Run defense grade, 80.4. That was top 26 in the NFL. He's a good blitzer, as we saw with the sack numbers. He had 3 of those according to PFF, and then 14 pressures. That was 16th, and he had 56 stops. That was 6th among all linebackers. A reminder, programming alert, the NFL, they are releasing schedules for all 32 teams tomorrow, Wednesday, May 14th. We will have a full Eagles 2025 schedule breakdown right here on the show, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and lock us in. If you want an Eagles jersey, we continue to tell you about these great deals thanks to our friends at Fanatics. All you have to do is use that link down below, chatsports.com/Eagles jersey, and you can get your Eagles jersey just in time for the 2025 season. If you don't want a jersey, you can still use that link. It'll redirect you to Fanatics, and then Fanatics will know that Chase Senior Eagles Now and Chat Sports sent you. You can get shirts, polos, hoodies, Super Bowl merchandise, whatever you want, it's available because our friends at Fanatics are hooking you up. As far as those jerseys, current players, former players, road whites, home midnight greens, the black jerseys, which I also love, and the cleanest jerseys in all of sports, the Kelly greens. Get your jerseys today, chatsports.com/Eagles jersey. So this Nakobe Dean injury, the severity of it, the recovery timeline, when he got hurt in January, may have very well led to the Eagles taking Jihad Campbell with the 31st overall pick in the first round. First time that the Eagles have drafted an off-ball linebacker in decades. And you look at the Eagles linebacker depth chart, Zack, Baun, Nakobe Dean, the starters if Nakobe Dean is able to stay healthy, but I don't think there's any chance, considering what we know about this injury, that Dean is going to be ready for week 1. And so who's going to start alongside Zack Baun? Will it be the rookie Jihad Campbell, who's also dealing with an injury of his own, that labrum injury? Could it be Jeremiah Trotter? Could it be Smile Mondon, the 5th-round pick out of Georgia, who a lot of people looked at as one of the top off-ball coverage linebackers in the NFL, another really good player from that Georgia program? There is a good chance that the starter alongside Zack Baun could be a very young player. And the development of that player is going to be really important for this Eagles defense in 2025, manning the middle of the field. And why I think the Eagles took Campbell, incredible value at 31. They looked at him as a top 10 player on their board. So when you can get a top 10 player in the class at 31, you have to do it. And Howie Roseman has really learned from some of his previous draft failures, right? Sometimes he has reached in the past, and this was a while ago when he was a younger general manager, sometimes he is drafted based upon need. Now, doesn't matter about need. They draft the best players there. And Jihad Campbell at 31, when he's a top 10 player on your board, that's a no-brainer. The Eagles are certainly shocked by that. They think that he can be elite. He has positional versatility. Edge, linebacker, he can do both. Eagles fans will really love his play style. Plays like he shot out of a cannon. Heat-seeking missile. Blazing sideline-to-sideline speed. He has swagger, confidence. He plays with aggression. This can be another chess piece for Vic Fangio, who has a wonderful history of developing linebackers. Look at the massive leap of Nakobe Dean last year as an example. Look at how Zack Baun in his first year as an off-ball linebacker became a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year and was a first-team All-Pro. How about Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman when Vic Fangio was the DC with the 49ers? Campbell has the skills to become that. Best Alabama defender in 2024. What's so interesting is that he was recruited as an edge rusher, and so that gives him the aforementioned versatility, but a lot of instincts. The Nakobe Dean future, as we mentioned, very uncertain. I think that Campbell can be a Zack Baun type of player. Thrive off ball in coverage, but also be used as a blitzer, as an outside linebacker, or in between the tackles on delayed blitz calls. And the Eagles have said this. Jihad Campbell is going to impact the pass game, whether it be collapsing the pocket.
Fourth, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will start defending their Super Bowl title against the Dallas Cowboys. We know Lincoln Financial Field will be rocking come the season opener as another Super Bowl banner gets raised, and you can catch that game on NBC 10. And then we later learned the Eagles will play at the Commanders as part of a Week 16 doubleheader on Fox, an NFC Championship game rematch down in D.C., and we learned the Eagles will host the Bears.
Right, you know, I'm waiting patiently, and then you guys give me this. Now I'm even more amped up on ready to get back to football, training camp, all that stuff. I'm ready right now, you know, especially playing against this Dallas team first.
I know it.
I'm ready already.
The NFL knew what they were doing with that one, and that brings us to our three-point stance presented by Toyota. Number one, there will be nothing better than raising a banner against the Cowboys. While we thought this game might be a little more competitive, we talked about it last week, maybe the Rams, but the poetic justice of just raising the Super Bowl banner in front of those Cowboys fans, in front of Jerry Jones, NFL is like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make this first game.
I'm old school, too. I still think that the hated Dallas Cowboys are still number one on my list of the most hated, you know, teams I ever played against. In fact, I even had, you know, some great times where I was playing against, you know, I was with the Steelers playing against the Ravens. That was big time. But no doubt to me, me and the person that I am, the biggest rivalry that I had was against the Dallas Cowboys. I remember they had those guys, you know. I mean, you name it, they had the best players in the league at the time. Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman. I'm playing against, you know, Charles Haley, El Gato, you know, all these big-time players, and they were winning Super Bowls. And I haven't heard the Super Bowl ringing in a long time. And I got drafted back in 95, so it's only 30 years. And then I'm sitting back thinking, when was the last time they hoisted the banner? Oh, it's been too long. You know, I can't even think of that day. But I can say this. It's poetic justice that Jerry Jones had to sit in a box and be squealing as they raised that national championship banner in the stadium. The Link's gonna be rocking against the hated Cowboys. I'm looking at them, Dak Prescott across the field, and it's just gonna be everything to me. I got goosebumps already. Say what you want to say. This younger generation, they don't believe in the Cowboys. I'm still believing in the Cowboys being the #1 rivalry the Eagles have faced in the past 30 years. It's still special to me. This is the best thing they could have done. I mean, you got two healthy quarterbacks. You're gonna have a healthy Dak and a healthy Hurts. We got to go into the next stances, right? I'm sorry.
You're told to be quiet, aren't you?
Yes. I can go on and on and on about this Dallas rivalry. This is what it's all about. I wrote these notes. I don't even need these notes. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, us running a rock on that team. They can't stop us. They're beating up on everybody on that defensive line. This is going to be history. All right, Mulhern. My producer said, be quiet. Hey,
shush, would you please?
Rap.
That's enough out of you. Moving on. Still a lot to talk about. Number 2, the Eagles will start the season 1-0. At least that's what we think. The Link is already set here for the opener against the Cowboys, and the Birds are 7-point favorites. So we're looking here at most likely an easy win, especially when you look at these two teams. We talked about the quarterback matchup. We're going to get to that later. But these two teams, when you look at it on paper, this shouldn't be a close game.
It shouldn't be a close game. We have the better team. In fact, we have the best team in the NFL. Say what you want to say. They got a new coach. Well, he was already there, so I don't know what they thought they changed or anything. The same old. Come on now. What are they talking about? We're going to beat up on them. We smashed them twice last year. So when they say that, I'm looking, come on now. Are you kidding me? I cannot believe that, they think they're going to have a fight. No, they won't have a fighting chance. In fact, Michael Parsons said, look, if it wasn't for the 5 touchdowns, or remember the soundbite said, if it wasn't for what, let's let him say it.
I mean, you look at their play, I mean, they had 2 big runs and 3 good deep shots. Other than that, we made them earn it, and you take away the scoreboard. It was about 5 plays that decided this game.
5 plays that were touchdown plays.
You take away the scoreboard. That's football. That's the whole point of the game.
Oh, you just take away the 41 to 7. Yeah.
And then we can really talk.
Was that amazing? I love it. That's amazing. I'm just going to take those 5 plays away. Just those 5 touchdowns away.
And the scoreboard. And the whole game of football.
Yeah, we slowed them down. I love Michael Parsons. He's one of the best players in the NFL right now.
You said some funny stuff.
Oh, no question. And I know he's mad. I know he's frustrated they haven't paid him yet. He's one of the top 5 defensive players in NFL, and still they're making him wait on his money. Yeah, I'd be mad too. Parsons, come on home, man. You want to come on home. That way you say you shoulda, coulda, woulda here instead of saying that they're down in Jerry's world.
That'd be a nice contribution to the Eagles defense, that's for sure. We talked about it here. Number 3, Jalen Hurts will continue to show he's just frankly better than Dak Prescott. The Cowboys fans love to cling to the fact that Dak has a good record against the Eagles, but him and Hurts have only faced off 3 times. Sure, Dak is 2-1, but Hurts has as many Super Bowl appearances as Dak has playoff wins, and it's very rare, which is really interesting being in the same division, that these two actually duel out. And that's the hope in week 1, is that both are healthy, and it's going to be something where we're actually able to see them head-to-head, which is pretty rare.
No question. You look at total touchdown, Hurts is killing them. 45 wins versus 34 wins, 6 playoff wins. I mean, come on now. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win. Let's not forget that. 1 Super Bowl win going against each other head-to-head. Yes, Dak may be all world when it comes to being the regular season quarterback. But then when it really counts, when all the marbles on the table and you're in the playoffs and you're going to the Super Bowl, he is yet to go out there and fulfill who he is as a quarterback. I mean, Dak is a good quarterback too. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He has. I'm looking at he didn't play in 8 games last year. I think 7, 8 games last year. He had 978 yards. He had 11 touchdowns. And you look at Jalen Hurts, he had 2,900 total yards and 18 touchdowns. Statistically, he just about had just as much as Jalen Hurts throughout the entire season. But at the end of the day, that one win at the end of the season. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to win the last game of the season. Dak can't even get it started to begin the playoffs. So, yes, it's not about what you do on the field and all that stuff. It's more about how you control your team, how your team backs you up, how your team looks at you as a leader. That's what Jalen Hurts is. He's a leader. He goes out there and makes things happen. I don't know how much of a leader he is in that locker. Dak Prescott is in that locker room. I don't hear a lot of them praising his name.
The champions play at home.
Eagles.
So Philadelphia will be at home. Most people have thought that, and that is accurate. Do you want to give me a guess who it might be? It could be Detroit or the Rams or the Bears or the Commanders. Who could it be?
I'd love to see the Commanders.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
Jaden Daniels.
SG?
Well, I know the answer, so I'm afraid to say.
Come on, play on. Oh, go.
I don't want to blurt it out.
Who would you like to see?
Philly and Philly and a bad team.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like Philly. I don't know.
All right, then I'll tell you.
Tell me.
It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's go.
We will start the season on September 4th in Philadelphia with one of the great rivalries. It's been a quarter century since the Cowboys, the Eagles, have played week one. Dallas, new coach in Brian Schottenheimer, Dak Prescott back against Jalen Hurts, 2,000-yard rusher Saquon Barkley, and the Philadelphia Eagles. What a way to start what begins the 20th year of Sunday Night Football.
That's a great kickoff.
An epic rivalry, Eagles versus Cowboys. I mean, when my little boy said to his dad once, "Can I root for the Cowboys?" he said, "Sure, but you'll have to move out."
And he meant it.
He meant it 100%. So do you think this will be a good game?
It'll be a great game. Obviously, there's always anticipation with the Super Bowl champs playing at home. The banner gets unfurled. The Eagles have done that a couple of times. Now it'll be the second time in 8 years for a championship celebration. And they've been to the Super Bowl 2 of the last 3 years in the NFC. But Dallas is always Dallas.
Yes.
Dallas is always headlines. Dallas is always anticipation.
Yes.
It's win or bust. It's been 30 seasons since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. And Jerry Jones wants one thing and one thing only, to win the Super Bowl again. So the anticipation is always there. Hey, if you want to do it, beat the champs week one. Get started,
You
right?
talk to a Cowboys fan, though, they'll tell you every season's their season. And they're one of those teams that you either love Dallas or you really love to hate Dallas.
Absolutely.
But they've got a huge national following. Here's something else I just found out. Sunday Night Football, celebrating its 20th anniversary. Mike, you cover a lot of sports for NBC. What is it about Sunday Night Football? What is it about being in that booth that makes it so very special?
Well, you both know because you've visited and you've been there. There is an anticipation. The games are great all day, but it builds towards Sunday night for the players, for the fans, for everyone at home who's watching. So Sunday night is such a big deal and so much excitement. With Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, our entire team, we look forward to finding out on Wednesday where are we going to be.
Yes.
There are all these weekends of the NFL season, and as you said, celebrate the 20th season, and we cap it off with Super Bowl 60 on February 8th from Santa Clara, California.
Right here on NBC.
Yes.
Coinciding with the Olympics.
Winter Olympics.
All the things.
So I'm going to just put my feet up and rest up. That's all right. We got a good year coming.
Rest now, my friend. Thank you, Mike.
We look forward to seeing the full schedule's coming up in a couple of days.
All right.
The Eagles will raise their Super Bowl banner, and the Cowboys will be the first to see it. The 2025 NFL season kicks off this September, and the opening matchup is already making headlines. The Philadelphia Eagles, fresh off their Super Bowl win, are set to host the Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field in Week 1. It's a night of celebration and pressure, indeed, because while Philly celebrates, they're also missing one of their biggest defensive stars, Nakobe Dean. And Dallas is walking in with revenge on their minds. Why does this game set the tone for the entire season? The NFL has confirmed it. Eagles versus Cowboys will open the 2025 season on Thursday, September 4th. And yes, that means the Eagles will raise their championship banner in front of their home fans and biggest rivals on national television. This is the first time these two teams have met in a season opener since 2000. Last season, it wasn't close. The Eagles outscored the Cowboys by a combined 75-13 in their two meetings. This seems like a declaration, and Dallas has to stand there and watch. The Eagles, however, won't be at full strength. Nakobe Dean, the linebacker who led the team in tackles in 2024, is out with a torn patellar tendon. He suffered the injury during the wildcard game against the Packers and underwent surgery in January. Recovery for this kind of injury can take 6 to 12 months. So far, rehab reports are positive. He's off crutches and doing mobility work, but weak is way too soon. Dean posted 128 tackles last season, plus 3 sacks and an interception. His presence in the middle of the field was vital, and his absence opens a hole that Dallas will absolutely try to exploit. Philly drafted Jahad Campbell to help fill the gap, but relying on a rookie in a high-pressure opener under national lights might turn out to be a tough bet. On the other side, the Cowboys are walking into a new era. Mike McCarthy is gone. Brian Schottenheimer has been promoted to head coach. It's his first official game in charge, and it comes in the loudest stadium on the biggest stage against the toughest divisional rival. Dak Prescott is back after missing both games versus Philly last year, and that matters. The Eagles crushed backup quarterbacks. Prescott is under center, and most likely, Dallas gets to run its real offense. Expect a heavy dose of CeeDee Lamb. Also, expect Tony Pollard to be used more creatively. Schottenheimer may target that middle linebacker spot, the one Dean would usually lock down. Week 1 games don't decide championships, granted, but they are scene setters. For Philly, this game is symbolic. It's the first step in defending their title. Winning on banner night solidifies their status, while losing it, especially to Dallas, will sting for weeks. For the Cowboys, this is about showing the league they've moved past 2024. A win on the road against the champs instantly changes perception. It quiets critics, energizes the locker room, and gives Brian Schottenheimer a real foothold. There's also the division angle. In a tight NFC East, head-to-head records matter. Dropping this game gives Philly the edge. On the other hand, winning it puts Dallas on top from day one. So that's the setup. This isn't just about football, but about pride, revenge, and who owns the spotlight. Who takes it? Will Jalen Hurts defend home turf and silence the Cowboys again? Or does Dak Prescott finally flip the script and crash Philly's party? For smart, hype-free breakdowns all season long, hit that subscribe button and always stay updated about every twist and headlines.